Okay, so we've been working on factoring and you've been doing the slide and divide, and now we're going to do all three parts together. So if you remember, we're going to be doing slide, divide, and bottoms up. So we're going to do all three parts today. So the first thing always is looking for that greatest common factor. So if you look at 5, 11, and 2, are there any greatest common factors that you could divide them all by? And the answer would be just 1. So the answer of 1, me dividing by 1 is not going to change anything. So I'm going to automatically start my first step, which is sliding. So I'm going to slide this 5 over and times it with the 2. So that's now going to make it become x squared plus 11x plus 10. If you remember, our next step was we were going to factor. So this is where you're going to make that giant X. My product goes on top, my sum goes on the bottom. So I need factors of 10 that will add or subtract to 11. So I would use positive 1 and positive 10. So as factored right now, it would be x plus 10 and x plus 1. Then I have to divide. So the number that I slid is the number I divide by. So I would divide both of them by 5. This is where you're going to simplify those fractions. 10 divided by 5 becomes 2. But 1 divided by 5 will just stay that fraction because it won't reduce any further. Here's the part where you're actually going to do the bottoms up. So every time you end up getting a fraction that does not reduce, the bottom number is what will come up to that leading coefficient. So my new answer would say x plus 2 because that factor won't change, and then I would make that 5 go up, so it would become 5x plus 1, so I no longer have any more fractions. So again, we're going to be doing the slide, divide, and bottoms up today, so see if you can try that process on the next one. Okay, on the got it question, we're going to slide that 6 over, so it's going to become x squared plus 13x plus 30. Then I'm going to factor that, so when I factored it out, I put my 30 on top, my 13 on bottom, and then found factors that would add to 13, so I would use 3 and 10. Then I would come back and divide by the number I slid. So I slid the number 6, so that's what I divide both of those by. I'm going to reduce both of those fractions. So 3/6 will reduce to 1/2, 10/6 will reduce to 5/3. Notice you end up getting fractions on both of those. So you're going to have to bottoms up on both of them. So the 2 will come out of the bottom and come up. The 3 will come out of the bottom and come up as well. So my new answer would be 2x plus 1, 3x plus 5. Okay, you're still just doing the same process, the only difference is the signs. So you're just going to keep practicing the same process, but now you're just going to get a little more difficult just because of the fact the signs will start changing. So continuing, I would slide that 3 over. So I would get x squared plus 4x minus 45. I'm going to factor that. So I'm going to find factors of negative 45 that are going to add to 4. So I'm going to use a positive 9 and a negative 5. So then I have it factored over here. I'm going to come back and divide both of those by my number I slid, which is 3. I'm going to simplify those fractions. So 9/3 will simplify to 3. 5/3 will not simplify. The 3 from this fraction will have to bottoms up. So I will take that out of there and put it in front. So my new would be x plus 3, 3x minus 5. Pause the video and see if you can do the got it question. Alright, on the got it question, you're going to slide that 10 over. So I'm going to get x squared plus 31x minus 140. I'm going to factor that. So I'm going to find factors of negative 140 that add or subtract to 31. So I'm going to use positive 35 and negative 4. So my factors would be x plus 35 and x minus 4. I'm going to come back and divide by the number I slid, which is 10, and reduce those fractions. So 35/10 were reduced to 7/2, and 4/10 were reduced to 2/5. Then I'm going to need to bottoms up on both of those fractions. So I'm going to get 2x plus 7 and 5x minus 2. Okay, so That's all that I have for this first part. I just want you practicing doing the slide, divide, and bottoms up. So you can stop the video and go ahead and start your assignment because the second part of your note-taking guide is for the next day.